people say, well, how do I get started? And when I talk to my teachers and other students about doing their pages, I say, first you have to kind of start with low tech to go tech. In other words, what I want to have them do is I want them to actually take a piece of paper and I want them to storyboard what they're going to do on their web pages. I want them to draw me a picture of what their intent is, you know, what they want to do and how they want it to look.
To sit down and plan it. You really got to sit down and make a conscious effort to decide who your audience is going to be, what kind of information you want to put out there, and how you're going to do it. You really, really need to do that. If you start off by just saying, I'm just going to start building web pages, you're going to end up with quite a mess. It'll look like a smorgasbord that's out of control. And so, essentially, you've got to plan. On the web, there's a site that CNET puts up called builder.com. And it's a great, great website. And if I could, I scroll down to this site, and there's a basics. It's one of the first links for starting your websites out. And when we get the basics, it comes up with a lot of different links. And the very first thing that it tells you to start doing is to plan. Before the code, planning your site.
Right.
So you really have to plan what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. After that, you need to start determining what kind of tools you're going to need to use. And a good web builder, a good site builder is going to be knowledgeable in the fact that not just one piece of software is going to do it.
Right.
You're going to be doing things like, you know, just putting HTML code together. So you might want to be doing a text editor at the very basic things. Or if you want to use an editor like we're going to use further in the series, then you would use an HTML editor that does some of these things on an automated basis for you.
Once you do that, then you can go ahead and start building the pages. Now, when I first learned how to do web pages, I did the old-fashioned way by using an old text editor and all the nasty little tags and things like that.
Cumbersome is the word I've heard to describe it.
At best.
Yeah.
But now there's the technology is there and the software is there that makes it very, very easy to go ahead and start building. All right. So these are called HTML editors, and there are a lot of them out there.
Today we're going to talk about, first of all, getting used to something called an HTML editor. And so people might say, well, you need to learn how to do HTML, which is hypertext markup language.
Right.
But we're going to use one of these tools that kind of circumvents the hands scripting for us and does it automatically.
Makes it easier.
Exactly. And we said that today we're going to talk about putting text on your website. And so that's what we're going to do. And what I've decided to do is we're going to make a weather website. So we're going to talk about weather and assignments and different sites to visit and that kind of thing. So I'm going to call this Mr. D's website. Excuse me, weather website. Okay, and so now we've got text. Pretty simple. And if you look at the buttons on Claire's homepage, and by the way, they look a lot the same if you're doing Netscape Composer, if you're doing Adobe PageMill. Most of them look a lot like the word processors, like the Microsoft Word and those kinds of things. And so, you know, these are pretty generic. For example, if I was going to put an image in, I would go to this little icon up here. The same icon is found in Netscape, and it's found in the different editors as well. So, you know, these are pretty generic. So if I wanted to go ahead and center this already comes up center, but if I wanted to put this over to the left, I would simply highlight the text, click on this button down here, and it would move it over to the left.
Right, just like in word processing.
Exactly, and the same thing if I wanted to make this to the right-hand side. So pretty simple, not too bad. But I'm going to put it back at the center, and if I want to increase the size on the text, I just go ahead and I click on this A+ button. Not a problem. Okay, as you know, it's get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now you want to be careful because what you want to do is you want to make sure that people get an idea of what the site is about, but you don't want to give them just huge, you know, things to be dealing with because it takes up viewer space, and you don't want to take up all your space with just one or two lines. You want to make it a nice, compact, good package to look at as far as the page is concerned.
So text is first after you've started your planning process.
That's right. We've got three basic elements in a web page. It's text, it's graphics or media, and it's links to other pages or other websites.
So plan.
Exactly.